Alrighty, so welcome to part 2 of the website tutorial where we are making a 3-page site for Justin Timberlake. This is the finished product, what we're aiming to achieve. We've got the home page, the lyrics page for one of his songs with an audio track, and we've got the video that we can play for that single as well. Okay, at the moment we've created the HTML part of our website, so we've got it looking like this. Pretty ugly at the minute, but we've got all the information we need into the site. We just need to add some CSS styling to make this page look good. So the first thing you need to do is go into brackets and make sure you've got all 3 pages opened up. Down the left hand side here you should have index, lyrics and video. Okay, if they're not open up yet, just open them all now. Once you've got them all open, we're going to make a new document and immediately save it. So save as. Just go into your account and make sure you're in the Justin Timberlake folder, and we're just going to call this document style.css. Okay, this is going to be our style sheet where all our CSS coding goes. Now the first thing we want to do is link up our pages so they are connected to this style sheet. So any changes we make in this style sheet, we want them to affect all 3 of our pages. And the way we link them up is we go back to our index HTML document first of all, and in the head section at the top, go just below the title onto the next line, and I want you to write for me in brackets, pointy brackets that is, link rel equals, and then write style sheet. So basically says we're going to link up a style sheet to this document. Then we're going to put a space, and we're going to tell them where that link or where that file is that we want to link to. So we write href equals, in quotation marks, you simply want to write style.css and close your pointy brackets off. Okay, that's all you need to link this document to that style sheet. I'm going to copy that piece of code there now, so highlight it and press Ctrl C and just paste that onto your lyrics and your video pages as well. Okay, it's the same piece of code for each of those pages. Don't forget to save each page as you paste that in. Alrighty. So let's go back to our style sheet. Okay, and you can see that it's blank at the moment. The first thing I want to do to these 3 pages is put a black background into these documents. Okay, so what we're going to do is pop on over to our style sheet, just here. We're going to write the HTML tag first of all and open up some curly braces. Inside the curly braces, you can either write just background and write black, or you can write background dash color. Either one's going to work. Okay, so when you save that now and go and preview your pages, you've got a black background across all 3 pages. Alright, that's a good start, but we've lost our text, we can't see it, so we need to do something about that. So let's style up the body section next of each page. So if I just quickly go to the index page, what we're styling up is everything in between the body tags. So my body tag starts there, and everything in between it, all the way down to the closing body tag, is about to be styled. Alright, so beneath our body tag, we open up our curly brackets. First thing we want to do is change our font family to sans serif. Second thing we want to change is the font size to 1EM, which is the default size anyway, but we just like to write it in. Next one will be line height, which is your line spacing, and you want 1.5 EM. I'll just put a little bit of line spacing between each line of text. And the final thing, just so we can bring our text back so it's visible, we'll change the color of it to white. That's the complete opposite color to black, so it's going to contrast well and make it easy to read. So let's look for these changes now across each page. We'll have a sans serif font. 1.5 line spacing should now be visible, and we should have white text. Okay, that's looking good. If I scroll down, we should see that text. There it is. Looking good. Just make sure it's working on the lyrics page. Yep. And the video page. Yep. Alright, so our body section is styled up nicely there. Next thing I'm going to do is the header section. So if I just go back to my index for a minute, here's our header at the top here. It's quite a simple one. It says Justin Timberlake. Okay, everything inside those header tags, which is the word Justin Timberlake, is now going to be styled up. So let's write the word header and open up some curly braces. This is back in our style sheet now. For the header, we want to give it a background color first of all. So you can either write the word background. I might just do background just to show you that it will work. You don't have to write background color. And I'm going to make it lawn green. Okay, interesting color choice, but when I save it and preview that, you can see it's this bright fluoro green kind of color. Okay, actually I do feel like we do need to write background color there just to be consistent with what we've got up there. So probably good to be consistent in our coding. So if you did just write background, maybe write background color. Alright, so after background color, let's change our text color. We want it to contrast well with that green, so I'm thinking black is going to be our color choice. We'll make our font a bit bigger, so let's change the font size to 3em, so that's 3 times its normal size. We might make it a bit bolder, so let's go font weight and choose bolder. We'll put it in the center of the page, so text align, choose center. Let's save that and have a look at how it's going. Alright, so it's doing everything we want. It's just that that green background is not quite big enough, and I think it needs a bit of padding in there. So let's quickly go back to our CSS sheet here and just write padding. And we'll put on 30 pixels padding around that header. Alright, so that should do us for styling up the header there now. We'll just save that, have a look, and you should have a nice big lawn green header. Okay, black text, it's center aligned, it's size 3em, and we've got that 30 pixels of padding now around the top and the bottom. Okay, it's looking good. Let's keep going. Might style up the footer next. It's an easy one to do. So the footer is the copyright statement at the bottom of the page. If I just go back to my index page for a moment and scroll to the bottom, you'll see the footer tags just here. Everything inside those footer tags, which is this copyright statement, is now going to be styled up. So let's work on our footer. What we want to do to the footer is make the font size a bit smaller. So let's change our font size to 0.75em. And don't forget your semicolons at the end of each line here. I've been writing in the styling, but make sure you put the semicolon at the end just to show that you finished that line of code. Okay, so sorry, back to the footer. The font size is 0.75em. We're going to put that text in the center of the page, so text align will be center. We'll change the background color. This time I'm going to choose a pink. Out of those pinks there, I think I'll go with a deep pink. And we want the text color to stand out on that deep pink, so we'll write color. I think white will stand out nicely on that pink. Save it up. We should see these 4 changes now take place at the bottom of our page. Smaller font, centered text, pink background, and white for the writing. Sure has. And if you look across the other pages too, for example the lyrics, it's got it. And the video, it should have that same styling, which it does. Alright, so that's looking good as well. Kicking on, we might have a look back at our index here for a minute. Yeah, I think everything might be styled up pretty well there at the minute. We haven't done the nav bar yet, but this writing part is what I'm looking at, and it's looking pretty good. We might style up this image next of all. Okay. So what we're going to do in the style sheet is write the img tag in, or the image tag, and open up some curly braces. For the image, we're going to make it float to the right hand side of the page. That way the text will run around it down the right hand side of the page. If we save that and have a look at what happens, the picture goes to the right hand side of the page and the text will just run around the outside of that picture. Still pretty big, so we're going to have to adjust that as well by changing the width. I'm going to make the width 350 pixels. Alright, don't worry about changing the height, it will change automatically and keep it in proportion. If you just change the width and save it, you can see the picture comes down to a reasonable size. That's looking quite good there now. What else can we do to this picture? We might put a bit of padding around it. So I'll put in maybe 5 pixels of padding, save it. You can see just that little bit of space around them. Might even turn it up a little bit more. We might go up to 10 pixels just to keep that text at bay. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay, looking good. And the last thing, we might fill in this empty space now around the picture and its outside border there. We might fill it in yellow. So to do that, I don't know if this is going to look very good, but we'll give it a go. We just write background color yellow. Okay, so that's our image styled up just there. It should be floating to the right hand side of the page. Its width is 350 pixels and its height will automatically adjust. It's got a bit of breathing room, 10 pixels of breathing room around each side, and we've now got a yellow border around it, which is just the background color of that padding. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, I think it goes well with the pink there, and it goes well with the green up there, so that image is looking pretty good. The last thing we need to style up on this page is this nav bar. Okay, those links there are quite hard to read, and they don't look very attractive at all, so there's quite a bit of styling to do on this nav bar, so let's get to it. We'll go over to our code here. And back in our style sheet, the first thing we want to do, I'll just go back to the index and have a look at this nav bar. Remember, it's an unordered list, and what we want to do is style up this list to make it look a little bit different. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is write the UL tags in, which stand for the unordered list. First thing I'm going to do is the list style type is none. Okay, and when you save that and test it, you'll notice those bullet points have disappeared. Alright, still going. We'll go to the next one. We'll go margin and set that to 0. We're also going to set the padding to 0. Don't forget your semicolons at the end here. And we'll just save that and have a look at what that's done so far. Let's just got rid of the extra space we had before at the edge of the page and just pushed it across. We'll keep going. Overflow is the next one. We're going to change that to hidden. And that will just push them hopefully up onto a single line. Oh, not yet. Maybe it did something else that I'm not sure. But do leave it in there. The last thing we'll do is background color. This time I'm going to go deep sky blue, I think, for my color. Alright, so that's the unordered list styled up. Let's just have a look at it. It won't be looking too flash just yet, but it's getting better. Okay, what we want to do is fix these actual list items up now. So remember, back in your index page, each unordered list has list items in it. Okay, and we've got 3 items in this list. We want to style them up individually now. So a bit further down the page in the style sheet, we're going to add the LI tags in, which stand for list items. What we're going to do to them, simply float them to the left. Okay, let's just save that and see what it does. There we go, it's got them onto one line now. That's what I was looking for. Okay, next thing, since these list items are links or hyperlinks, what we need to do is go down and add another tag in, which is list item and then the A symbol, which stands for a hyperlink. Okay, so we'll style up the buttons now and do display, make it a block display. Okay, we'll make the color white, so that's going to change the text color to white. Let's just save that and have a look. Yeah, so you can just see little buttons forming in there now, little block buttons. We've got white text, which is a lot easier to read than that dark purple we had before. We might put the text a line in the center of those blocks. It's not going to make much difference yet. We're going to put some padding in now. So we're going to do 14 pixels and then 16 pixels. And if you save that and have a look, let's put a bit of padding across the top and down the left hand side. Okay, also a bit around the bottom and the right hand side. Okay, so 14 pixels down the left and right sides and 16 pixels up the top and bottom. This is really starting to look good now. It's starting to look more like a menu bar. We'll keep going, still inside the LIA tags here. After that padding, we'll just do text decoration and set it to none. Alright, we'll save that up and you'll see it's looking pretty good. There's no underlines under those links anymore. I don't like these lines going through there too much, but yeah, we'll leave it for now. Okay, we'll try and get rid of it later, maybe. Right, last thing I want to do, list item. We're going to write the A in again, and this time we're going to write the word hover. Now what this is going to create a rollover effect. So when we roll over the top of the button, it should change color. It just makes our page a little bit interactive, makes it a bit more exciting. Okay, so in the curly braces, all you need to do is change the background color. So whatever color you want your background to change to when you're hovering over the top of the buttons, write it there. I'm choosing purple. I think that'll look good. It'll contrast well with the white text. So now when I preview it and hover over these buttons, it's got a purple background. That's the hover effect, or the rollover effect. You'll notice that those lines that were between the buttons, breaking them up, has also disappeared. So that's looking really good now. Okay, should be able to click on that and go through each page, and it's the same on each page, the exact same styling, which keeps our pages consistent. So that's our first page all done. Okay, it's looking really good. Let's go to this lyrics page next and start styling it up. We want to style up this little music player as well as some of the text a bit further down. Just add a bit of color to it to try and spice it up a bit. Okay, so let's look at this lyrics here. So below the nav bar, we've got this section here which has audio controls in it. Okay, this is the part that we want to work on first of all. Where it's got section, we're going to give this section a class name. So we're going to go class equals, and I'm just going to call it audio. You can put any name in there, but I'm just going to choose audio so it's meaningful and we know what it is. So to style up this section, we need to style up this audio section. So let's go back to our style sheet. Down the bottom, what we're going to do is write .audio. Okay, that's our way of styling up the audio section. We're going to open up some curly brackets, and inside there we're going to write a number of things. The first thing I want to do is change the background color to yellow. Bright color, but if you have a look, I think it blends in well with the different colors. This little black audio player is attached to the blue section at the minute. I want to knock that down a little bit, so whoops, I'll just go back into brackets. I might do the padding top and set it to 7 pixels. That should just knock it down a little bit, yeah, so it's not quite attached to that blue section. That looks good. The next thing we might do is choose width, and instead of making it 100% of the page, we'll halve it and go 50% of the page and have a look. Yeah, so it's halved that yellow box now, so it's just 50% of the page. Would look nice if it's in the center over here, so to center that yellow box we're going to do margin and write 0 auto. That's a quick way to center elements in your page. Let's have a look at that. Let's push it across. It'd be also nice to get this little black music player in the center of the yellow box. It still feels a little bit unbalanced, so to do that we have to use the text align feature. So just text align center. Alright, so we'll save that and have a look. There we go, it's got that little black music player in the center. Last thing I want to do is try and detach the yellow box from the blue nav bar there. And the way we do that, we're actually going to have to style up our article, I think. So you can see our article here and our nav bar above that. So we want to separate the nav bar from the article section. So what I might do is just put a bit of padding around the article. So in my CSS here, I'll just write the word article, just write padding, and I think, whoops, I think 10 pixels will probably cut it. So we'll save that and give it a crack. Yeah, that's good. That's just giving us 10 pixels of space between our little music player and the nav bar. That's looking really good. If I press play on that, I can hear the music fine through my headphones, so I'm sure you'll be able to hear it fine when you test it out. That's the lyrics page all done. Looks great. Time to style up the video page now. There's not much to do apart from get this video over here in the center, maybe add a little bit of color, like that yellow again, just to spice the page up a bit. So what we're going to do, let's go to the video HTML document first and find that section where we've got our video player. Here it is here. going to give that section a class name. So class equals, and in quotation marks, I'll just call it vid. You can come up with whatever name you want, but I think that's a meaningful enough name. You know, it's for the video. Just save that page and head back to my style sheet. Okay, so here's our audio that we styled up. I'm just going to go below that now and write in .vid and start styling up my video. First thing we want to do, as I said before, is put that yellow background color in again. So let's write yellow. I'll have a look at what that does. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It does make the writing a bit hard to read though, so we might change the color of that writing to black. And I might just stick it in the center as well, so text align center. If we save that and have a look now, that's even pushed our video across for us, so that's nice. It is hugging the top of the yellow box there a little bit, so I might even put in a bit of padding at the top of that. So padding top. I'll try about 10 pixels of padding and see if that just spaces out a bit better. Yeah, it looks good. I'll have to do a little bit at the bottom as well, so padding bottom, just to even it out. I'll go about 25 pixels. We'll see if that evens it out. Yeah, that looks a bit nice. We've got the same amount of empty space now above and below the video. Just looking good. I think that will probably do us. That looks good. Let's just test this video. Yeah, it plays fine. So we'll just go through these hyperlinks one more time and make sure everything's all good. Yep. Everything's fine on the lyrics, even though we have to scroll a little bit. Music plays. Video page. The video plays. Alrighty, so I think we've got a finished web page here. Okay, so when you're all done, make sure you've saved it all up. You've got your index, lyrics, video, and your style sheet. Okay, you can see how much easier it is to do a style sheet on its own, rather than do the style tags inside the head section on every page, which is a bit tedious over time. When you've got a big website, you want to be able to style it up all in one hit. And that's what we've done here by having our very own style sheet. Alright, so that's it.